Welcome to Pottsville. Every Father's Day weekend you'll find a real antique show about 10 miles north of Grants Pass and 2.5 miles north of Merlin. If you come from the north, just turn off on the Hugo Cutoff and go about a mile or so until you come to an old gas grocery store. It's on the right. Then turn right immediately past the store, and just a quarter mile to the north is Pottsville, owned by ex-Oregon Senator Potts.
It's like a solar engine. It's a heat and expansion of air inside of a cylinder.
Ah.
When the balloon goes up, the air is hot. When it's down to cool, that has to do with every revolution. It's a heat engine is what it is. Only instead of using gas or electricity, using the sun ray.
Oh, really?
This is really an interesting place. Let's go look around. There's a lot of brands here that I've never heard of, and if you ask, you can get a ride in Mr. Potts' own taxi cab. The most exciting event of the day here at Pottsville for the youngsters is the kids' tractor pull.
Go, 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 faster, 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 pull faster, harder. Give a hand for Erica. Here's Brandy. She will go next. She'll be able to pedal a little better now. Here comes the weight. Brandy is going right along. The weights are going to be going on. Missed a weight, missed a couple of weights. Pull, Brandy, pull. I think that's about the size of it. Let's give her a hand. We might mention that this little toy pedal tractor is a special one. It's not one that you buy off the shelf. It has been reinforced and special gears put in it so that hopefully they won't pull out. You might not want to try this with the standard one that you get for your grandchildren. Okay, our next contestant is?
Michael.
Okay, where are you from, Michael?
Eugene.
He's from Eugene. You have any relation to the last boy?
Yeah.
You're his brother.
Yeah.
Okay, how old are you?
9.
You're 9? Okay, here we go.
And Michael is 9 years old. It's the right size for the tractor, I think. Give Michael a hand. And our next contestant.
Is Calvin.
What's the name again?
Calvin.
Calvin, where are you from?
Oh, Kent Junction.
Cave Junction. You go to what, Evergreen?
Yeah.
Evergreen School? What grade are you in?
Fifth.
And what is your teacher's name?
I don't know yet.
Okay, so this is for next year. Okay, are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, here comes the Cave Junctionite. Calvin, by the way, is a junior member of Branch 9. He actually belongs to the club here. Here we go, Calvin. Put the weights on. Go, attaboy, go, 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 go. I think that's about the end for Calvin. Yeah, just about the end. He's still going. Give him a hand. Big hand for Calvin. Mike, for a change, can we have the powered one just to see what it's like? We're going to take a little break here and see what the one that has a real engine does. Watch it, he'll start the engine. This is a real honest-to-goodness tractor. Pedal power. Here we go. Let's see if it spins its wheels. Go, 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 tractor. Uh-oh, he spun out. That's just like the big tractors. They spin out too eventually. Give him a hand. That shows you that sometimes human power can do as much as machine power. Okay, let's see who's our next contestant here. What's your name?
Wendy.
Wendy, where are you from?
Selma.
Okay, and how old are you, Wendy?
7.
7. Are you all ready to go?
Yeah.
Are you going to pedal clear to the end?
I'll try to.
Right, okay, Wendy, go ahead. Here goes Wendy.
pedal, Randy, pedal, pedal, pedal. Let's give her a little support. Urge her on. Let's go, let's go. There we go, one more. I think that's about it. That's about it for Wendy. Here's the people wagon. You're invited to ride it. It's free. Takes you around the ground. Saves a lot of foot power. Pedal, pedal, attaboy, pedal. Oh, make it go. Make it go. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Faster, 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 Jonathan. Let's give him a hand, folks. This is Josh from Grants Pass. Let's go, Josh. Go, go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big hand for all the contestants. Thank you for your participation. Don't forget, all kinds of events are coming up. The schedule is on the bulletin board up here. We have various things. There will be a parade of power, and includes all the old-fashioned cars, too. And all the different tractors will be coming by. I think that's about 12 noon. And then at 2 o'clock will be the real tractor pull, preceded by the horses we'll be trying to pull. In the meantime, we have all kinds of activities, so enjoy yourself here. I understand they're starting to serve lunch at the lunch place over there, so enjoy yourself at this Father's Day weekend here at Pottsville.
In between events, let's just kind of wander around the grounds here at Pottsville and see what there is to see.
You know, if you take pictures, at least buy some popcorn from me. I mean, it's hot. It's fresh. It's delicious.
welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, to the 9th Annual Antique Tractor and Engine Show here at Pottsville. We'd like to mention several different things which are taking place. For example, breakfasts are all sold out. They're getting ready for lunch, so you can pick up hamburgers and whatever, odds and ends, over at the lunch stand. There will be church on Sunday morning in this small church we have here in Pottsville. We'd like to remind you all kinds of activities going on. A little bit later, you'll see the shingle mill in operation. This is where, in the early days, they logged lost a lot of fingers. It was a very dangerous operation. Floyd Perkins will be having rope making about 10:30 or so, followed by soap making by Sandy at about 10:45. Over here also will be some leather work going on. There's some train people. You see the trains going round and round behind the lunch stand. There'll be some milk can painting. The Hugo's Ladies Club have an exhibit. They'll be rattling off a quilt Sunday afternoon about 4 o'clock. And also the Southern Oregon Miners Association will be having a raffle as well. We'd like to have you look at the Rogue Valley Woodworkers and their exhibit. There's some chair caning. John is doing that. For the youngsters, there will be storytelling from 1 to 3 in the church. Roger Ramsey has some artifacts in the museum building. Roy is at the blacksmith shop, and there's some spinning and weaving going on. All kinds of activities, not counting the ones that you hear with the engines, which are running and doing various things. So we invite you to look around, see things, enjoy yourself, listen to the band, Dale and the Country Drifters. Have a good time today, enjoy yourself, and come back again next Father's Day weekend.
My mama and my papa and me, the clock strikes 3, Papa jumped through it big. Already mama cooking Papa something to eat. A half-past Papa, he's ready to go. The jumps in the bureau headed down the bayou. It's like a fishing line strung across the Louisiana River. Gotta catch a big fish for us to eat. Setting traps in the swamp, but catching anything he can. Gotta make a living, he's a Louisiana man. Gotta make a living, he's a Louisiana man.
The second main event of the day today is the Pottsville Parade.
We're going to be starting our parade of power. Jockeying to the first place position is Senator Deb Potts. If it wasn't for Senator Potts, we would not have a Pottsville, because he started this whole thing. And let's give a big hand to Senator Deb Potts and the Pottsville taxi. Senator Potts started this about 12, 13 years ago with a few buildings. Now, as you can see, this is the result. Senator Potts, as you know, served in the Oregon State Senate many years, was vice governor. Next is Mike's barn and a 1925 Fordson tractor. First mass-produced tractor in the world, made by Henry Ford and his son. That's how it got its name, as Fordson. Fordson tractor. All restored and running. It's the kind you have to crank. It runs like the Model Ts off of coils. Buzz coils, it is called. Quite the tractor. This was a tractor that replaced horses. This was a tractor that put farmers on wheels. Next comes Outfit, and a very rare tractor. This is a farm all day, but it's different than others. Notice it's rather high off the ground. It's a high crop clearance tractor. We're followed next by a case tractor coming all the way from Fortuna, California. Larry Henley. And this is a case L tractor. On the way, 1936, 28 horsepower. This particular tractor will be seen along with about 20 or 30 others that Larry has at the big Fortuna show on July 23rd and 24th. You'll see notices here on the bulletin board. First check the ball and down the board, the John Deere AO tractor. The regular John Deere A only it is made for orchard work. You notice the left there, everything is down below, nothing is high, so we're under the branches. Check the ball from Africa and his John Deere A. We have two John Deere B aluminums in the field today. This is one of them. I think they're almost identical. One belongs to Gary Peterson. I'm not sure the other one. These are units that are made by the Lindemann brothers up in Washington for the orchards, the apple orchards up there, to the end of the tree. They were tied with the basic tractor motor and the rear end and put the tracks on it. Eventually, John Deere bought it out. John Deere bought it out. Next followed by an Oliver little cat tractor. This was eventually sort of a company owned by Cleveland. Eventually, the Rogers Tractor Company bought it, and that was the end of it. No longer are they being made. Literally, they changed the tractor, same engine as the Cleveland, the Generals, and many others use the same engine, little Continental engine. John Deere LA. This is a tractor, a little small as the Ford Ferguson, put out about in 1940, 1941. Here's a little tractor. And here's a master tractor today. This is a master Ferguson. He was here to do some pulling in the pulling a little bit later on. This tractor weighs over 12,000 pounds. John Deere used to make a number of tractors designated by A, B, G, GP, H, and other letters. Then in 1950 or so, they switched to about to numbers instead. They switched to series 50, 60, 70. These are the same things as the John Deere B's, the John Deere H's, the John Deere A's, and other tractors. They just changed the mode to be a little more modern, and updated them a little bit. We have two John Deere BOs. This one is from Cave Junction, Jerry Phillips and Judy Phillips. Hey, there's Judy, not writing on with you today. Anyway, they're almost identical. This is in 1936. In a little while, we'll see in 1937. The only difference you can tell is one says 1937, a little tag on the front. Beautifully restored, probably better than when it came from the factory. A John Deere BO. And here comes Keith Davis on a John Deere what? John Deere A? Okay, John Deere A. Sometimes they're kind of hard to tell because they do look a lot alike. It needs restoring a little bit, but these are real workhorses. Long about 1936, this is the most popular tractor you would see in all the farms in Nebraska, in Iowa, all through the Midwest, especially where they raise farms. Followed next by a 1939 John Deere H, as in Henry. This is what Gary Peterson? Gary, no, not Gary. Okay, not Gary. I have to have the name of some of these, but not all of them. We have an unusual John Deere here next to me. It is a John Deere NT. Not too many of them are around. This particular John Deere here has some special equipment on it. It has called a M20 milling machine, and he brings us all the time. This is from Hugo. He's not very far. His name is Ron Markdahl from Hugo, which is just up the road. As a matter of fact, he didn't trailer this one in. He brought it in. He drove it all the way, and he was going with this morning with it, using it to mow part of his hay. As you know, he's out there helping running the thrashing machine. This is Case Crossmount. Floyd Berg. Floyd Berg from White City. Notice how this particular engine runs crossways. It's a little different than the others. This is Floyd Berg, and he's been one of the original members, one of the charter members of Branch 9. Followed by a John Deere D. These John Deere D's were the workhorse of the John Deere line, big heavy machines. They started making these in 1923, and then they kept on making them for about 30 or 40 years, longer than the Fortune tractors. We'll pause this a little bit while the case gets going. This is the oldest tractor that's been by Rusty Patrol from Roseburg. It's an Avery in 1916. It was put out to compete with the Fortune tractor because of the price. Originally it sold for $275. Eventually, after about 5 years, the price got up to $350. Fortune prices went up also, but then they started dropping their prices with Henry Ford outpriced them. a John Deere 8. This is driven by Carl Domenic from Cottage Grove. And the John Deere 8 is one of the smaller ones next to the John Deere LA. We have a small little Ford car here. Notice this is a youngster driving it. Just a minute, I'll get his name for you because I know I have it here. Okay, it's got a late 1970 Ford pickup driven by Brent Helm. Riding in the wagon behind is his little brother Bryce. Bryce Helm. And they have a lot of fun with these at parades. This is a Garstop steam engine owned by Gary Peterson of Grand Pass. And by the way, Gary has the other 3 steam engines. You might be interested in knowing that every year they have to have these checked by inspectors, and it costs about $400 or $500 to have done. And when they have repairs on them, I understand it goes as much as $1,000, and maybe even $2,000 as it was this year, to have them repaired. Coming up next is the Silver King. This tractor originally called a Plymouth. The Silver King is by Robert Figler of Branch 13 of Reddit, California. They're made in Plymouth, Ohio, so they thought they named the tractor a Plymouth. However, the Plymouth Motor Company, belonging to Chrysler, rather objected to that, so they finally decided to change the name. Eventually they changed it to Silver King. Here's a case tractor driven by Ray Koppel of Branch 9. He has another case tractor. This is his newest one. Sometimes members of the club try to restore one tractor every year, and this is his latest production. He also has a case back, which is out there someplace, where they get to maybe drive it in the next parade. Notice that some of these tractors are probably, the way they're painted, are much lighter and probably better painted than when they came originally from the factory. Here comes Brandy in his Farmall A. Notice this particular McCormick Deering tractor, the driver sits off to one side. This way he can look at the crop as he's plowing them or cultivating them, and as you can see then he has a better view of what goes on. By the way, speaking of having a better view, look who's in the back being pulled having a better view. And this is called a people wagon. Similar to the people wagon, you get 3 rides around here. We're next followed by 1926 Buffalo Springfield steam engine. Oh, I'm sorry, we left out one. We'll have Ben Collins and his bicycle. This is a John Deere bicycle. It actually belongs to his wife, and she had it stored for 20 years. John Deere made these, and with the gear on them, they originally were the trademark of the John Deere Tractor Company. So we'll let him go around and make the circle again. Anyway, there's the Buffalo Springfield. This is what you call a steam roller in the true sense of the name. Let me give you a hint. Do not put your foot underneath it when it goes by. Another John Deere here, general purpose. I'm not sure if this is an A or a B. I think I suspect a B because some of these are a little confusing to me. The John Deeres, a lot of them look pretty much alike, but they sound alike too. I'd like to have you look at this next tractor. It's a Ford Ferguson, beautifully restored by a gentleman who lives in Rogue River. And it's a gorgeous tractor. This is David Chloride, and he spent a lot of hours restoring this, as you can see. And again, it is probably better than when it came from the factory. And I'm sure they didn't have all of those vehicles and gadgets on it. Beautifully done tractor. Very seldom you see Ford Fergusons restored in their tractor parades, but they should be, because they're an important part of farming history. Here's another steam tractor owned by Gary Peterson of Grand Pass. Sometimes it takes 2 people to run these things. It takes 2 to run it, 1 to steer and 1 to pull the whistle. I suspect that's a John Deere B. Okay, a John Deere B. Like I say, they're hard to tell sometimes. You have to look at the engines and see if it's a very large engine or a small engine and forget the rest of the tractor. That's a fairly later model. That's kind of pressed steel body later off the early one has to the cab. And here is Senator Pottsville driving one of his many tractors he has stored out here. This is a co-op tractor. You don't find too many of these in the country. Husky-looking tractor, healthy-looking tractor, and it's a good work project. Senator Doug Francis, give him a especially big hand. 60 with the 4-cylinder engine and R70 with the 6-cylinder engine. And very, very streamlined, very few that had side louvers on them instead of being open, so they kept the dust out of them. Unfortunately, they were eventually bought out by the White Motor Company that makes the big white trucks. And they started making white tractors, and then they went bankrupt. But all of our tractors are very good tractors, well run, but they just didn't have the selling power that was needed to continue them up to the present time. I think this is about a 1930-odd. And this is owned by Gary Peterson. It has yet to be restored. There's all of our cars, our old antique cars. Our Ford car exhibit should be coming down the track. It's a shame to get old, but one time, you know, every day you kind of notice that your old dad gets older, I guess his body keeps getting shorter and his stories keep getting longer. Anyway, enjoy yourself.
What year is this?
17.
1917 Ford?
That one there is older.
Oh, that one's even older.
Yeah, that's 11, I think, or 14.
Oh, the yellow one. These steamrollers aren't real easy to move when they're standing still. The chain turns the front roller wheel, but you really have to crank hard on it. During these shows, you can find a regular gold mine of tractor parts, antiques, and crafts to rummage through. Let's just do a little bit more exploring before the tractor pull starts.
Look at it, show it's an old fire truck. 15
person needs to spend about the whole day here just to make sure that you don't miss anything. Finally, by the time the afternoon comes, the parking lot is just about filled up, and we're ready for the main event of the day, the tractor pull.
1930 they came out with a row crop tractor, the first one, and they had what they call tiptoe skeleton wheels. This is a Model 60, it's 4 cylinders. It's what they call a square cylinder. It's 3.5 inch wide and 3.5 inch bore stroke, and it has side grills. A very good economical tractor, but not very popular through the years. An Oliver 60. I think this is owned by Gary Peterson, I'm not sure. The next tractors is an Ellis Chalmers WC driven by Ron Brazil from Cave Junction. He's a local barber out there. He wins all kinds of pulling contests with this. Notice a good bark to the engine. $175,000 of these, 175,000 units were built of the WC tractor. Also it has a 4-inch bore and a 4-inch stroke. Notice the weights underneath to hold the front end down. Unfortunately, a lot of the John Deere tractors look alike, so sometimes it's hard to tell what they are. Notice he has his hands up to let him know it's in neutral. It looks like an A, which means it's larger than the B. Sometimes you can tell by the wheel size, but not always. Sometimes by the engine size when you get up close. But if it is an A, it should pull a little bit farther than the other tractors so far. It is a B? Okay, it's a B. Same engine as the John Deere BOs that were balancing here a little while ago. This is the row crop version. Came out in about 1933. Originally it was unstyled. By styled we mean it has that fancy grill on the front. They styled them in 1939. So this should pull about the same length as the other one. Our next tractor is a John Deere AO. This definitely is a little larger than the BO, but along the same lines. It is an orchard tractor made to go under the trees. That's why you see all the streamlining on the top and the protective fenders. Theoretically, it should pull fairly good. It's supposed to be 16 horsepower, 16 on the drawbar and 23 on the belt. This tractor was styled in 1939 along with the H's and the other tractors, and they made it a little more modern. Collectors like to collect the old unstyled tractors, the ones you can see the radiator on the front. Believe it or not, they're actually worth more money than the ones that are styled. All John Deeres, not all, but most of them, the A's, the B's, and so on, are what they call popping Johnnies. They go pop, 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 and you hear them. 2-cylinder. The engine sits sideways. The flywheel is outside. You turn the flywheel to start it. Let's give him a hand. The driver and owner is Chuck DeBow from Applegate. He has about 10 tractors, different ones, also Model Ts, Model As, and the beautifully restored 1935 Ford Coupe that everyone admires. An A, okay. Here we go with the standard John Deere A, not the Orchard model. So it's the same horsepower, 16 horsepower, row crop, and this is unstyled. Notice you can see the radiator on the front, so now you're learning the terminology. Unstyled John Deere A. It should pull about the same distance as the fast one, except depends on rubber tires versus steel wheels. What you call lugging power. It actually was harder for this John Deere A to pull than the preceding ones because it's now in second gear instead of low gear. It means the weights go up faster. If you notice the preceding John Deere tractors, we called them by letters A, B, G, B, O, D. This will be a John Deere 50. In about the 1960s, they started, well, actually 1952, they started renaming them with numbers instead of letters. And so this is the same basically as a John Deere B, but it is now known as a John Deere 60. It's either 60 or 50, I can't see from here. Remember, the sled is in second gear, so the weight is coming up faster, so it may not be able to pull quite as far as the other John Deere B is. This is a 50. This is a Case L, 1936, about 26, 28 horsepower. And it's really a rather powerful rig, so it should do quite well. This particular one was very popular with sawmill men because it had lots of power on the drawbar. And it's won many, many pulling contests over the years. It has pressure lubrication, which gives the engine longer life. Let's see what it does. Should do quite well. Larry Hindley from Fortuna, California. right along, isn't he? But it sounds like it's in high gear.
Gary's pulled better in second gear. That one might too. Get a little speed on it. And a little more engine RPM.
Yeah, but it's lifting off.
Wave him off!
Yeah, before he hits into the crowd, yeah. The designation of this tractor, owned by Gary Peterson of Grants Pass, is a Oliver Cleatrack BD. B is a designation, D stands for the diesel engine. It's sort of a transition model at that time. The transition from the Oliver to the Cleatrack, and vice versa.
And explain the difference between internal combustion on the diesel and the gasoline. The gasoline explodes and forces the piston down, and the diesel burns the whole length of the stroke, which actually gives it more power.
Is that what does it? What's that now? The explodes, forces it down in gas, and the
Yeah,
diesel
it's just
burns the whole way. And
just a,
bang,
so you get a
bang.
steady power out of diesel when you just get a bang out of gas.
That's a good thing to know. The difference between diesel and gas, the gas engine, there's an explosion and it blows the piston down. In the diesel, it just burns all the way down, and so it's kind of a smoother power. I got some of this down my throat, down my windpipe a while ago, and I couldn't talk for about 5 minutes. I was breathing when I should have been swallowing.
All your ice melt in there.
Oh, that's okay, it's cold enough for now. We're deciding to we're going to have one drawing today and one Sunday. First day.
Look at that.
Can I go with it?
Okay. How you doing today? This is Mr. Heel.
Hi.
This is Mitchell.
Your relation to him? How sad. Look at that time going clear to the end, isn't it? You can see why the loggers, having to pull the big logs out of the woods, use diesel and Caterpillar tractors.
I outpulled a lot of tractors. I'll tell you that.
You were impressed some of them, and I'll tell you what, he was impressed by you too.
Hey, not many people are here, huh?
He was talking about when he got his 14, when he was 14. He was really
Yeah.
My tractor impressed a lot of people today.
Yeah, it was good. Say,
I saw you balance, I didn't get to see your pull.
tickles me to death.
I've had a lot of people come up to me and said, boy, I didn't know they could pull like that.
If you're interested in Fortson, see my book there, The Very Unusual Things with
Jackson,
Fortson.
president of Portson Club.
Hi.
I got a collection
my
of
wife.
Fortson.
His first name's John. I can't think his last name.
Not that much. That is not doing that great.
Oh, I still got a long ways to go.
As you can see, this is a very husky tractor, a Massey Ferguson 98, driven by Phil Carlson of Beaverton, Oregon, 65 horsepower. They have now shifted the sled into third gear, which means it will be coming up pretty fast. This tractor weighs about 12,000 pounds. Sometimes he pulls with duals on the back, and then it weighs over 12,600 pounds. In other words, that's over 6 tons, just for the tractor alone. Listen to it rev up.
Yeah.
Traction on both wheels instead of just one, so one wheel won't spin. So they have to line it up and set it in there, and then they'll be ready to go.
1926 steamroller.
We've been told this has 12 horsepower, so I think we're going to pull the sled in second gear. It wouldn't be fair otherwise. It's a big monster, weighs a lot. We're going to have this youngster here draw. What's your name? Okay, Mitchell's going to draw out, and we're going to keep drawing until we get a number which matches yours and give away this little toy tractor. By the way, just collecting toy tractors is a big hobby. Some people have whole rooms full of them. Some have thousands of dollars worth. I think I have 150 of these little fellas. The number on the ticket is 669030. 669030. We'll keep drawing until we get a winner in the next half hour. 669030. Chugga-chug, chugga-chug, chugga-chug. Notice in second gear they pulled about the same as the John Deere VO tractor. About the same horsepower, but more weight. Notice the front ends are clear off the ground now, and the wheels, as you can see them from here, the front wheels are clear off the ground. Clear off the ground. There it is.
It's a 1904 steam tractor.
You've heard of 20 mule teams, I suppose, hauling the borax across the desert. Something along the same line. And I know years ago the Teamsters, when they had the early combines or thrashing machines going across the prairies, that's what they did. They didn't have tractors in those days. They had horses and mules, and they hitched 20 teams together, 40 horses to make them go. And it'd be interesting to see if they can hitch all 4 of these horses together. I'm not sure if they're going to hitch them in tandem or side by side. They're going to try it just singly now to see how it works. Here comes the horses. They deserve a hand. Look at them go. Wow.
Oh, they're going the wrong way. Oh, I might have hurt one of them.
Now they're going. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Poor horse.
Get up!
It's easy to see why farmers went to tractors. Before these horses would pull, it took several minutes to get them to pull, and even then they were hard to control. A tractor will go wherever you steer it and will start and stop whenever you want it to. It can be the same with each one of us. God put us here to fear Him and to keep His word. Several years ago I found myself unable to pull the load anymore because of disobedience, and realized that I was ready for the scrap heap because of the life I had lived for 21 years. Just when things looked the most hopeless, I saw a signboard that said, "The wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ." After prayer and repentance, I gave my reins to God and found He can lead me like a shepherd does his sheep to a truly useful and abundant life that's really fun to live. Prayer changes things. God can work miracles and meet all your needs. What He has done for me, He can also do for you. Let me encourage you to seek His face and find His master plan for your life too.